It's a BumbleKast Mini, sponsored by Majo Bunny.
And Major Bunny has sponsored a bunch of standard questions to start us off, so let's go ahead and get into that. This one is from That One Guy 9549. Can Surgeon Kit age, or does their healing factor keep them forever young?
Forever young, forever young. That has not been explored. That is certainly a possibility, but I don't want to define that here and now because I don't want to pigeonhole what other writers might do with them.
All right. And this one is from Kater Artist. If Surge or Kit got into relationships, would Dr. Stylan let his kids be happy with their romantic life?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
He is the worst dad. He would either find some way to use that to manipulate them, or he would find some way to remove those people from their lives, which would also ultimately be to manipulate them. He's just, no, bad, very bad.
The irony is that Starline is a horrible dad, while Eggman would actually be a good dad. In his own way. In his own way.
Not to those two in particular. He plays favorites.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just talking like Sage specifically, I suppose.
I know, but like if Sage says, I want a pony, he would get her all the ponies. If Surge says, I want a pony, he'd say, who are you?
Well, yes. I'm not talking, I'm comparing Dr. Starline's fathership of Surgeon Kit to Eggman's fathership of Sage. I'm not saying that Eggman would treat Surgeon Kit like his kids. Their parenting styles. There we go. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I don't know what the words are. Fathership, like face ship. Fatherhood, whatever. You make up your own word. You make up your words. I'm making up words. The Saxon 3966 has a question. Is Surge immune to electricity or just highly resistant? Is there a point where her resistance is overmatched?
I would imagine it depends on the circumstances. Like if she is aware of the current and is able to act upon it, she could handle a fair high voltage. But if she were to be zapped by one of those really obnoxious traps that'll like scrap brain zone and she wasn't ready for it, I can't imagine it would damage her. So I think it's just a matter of whether or not she is able to consciously deal with it as she is affected by it.
Mm. Here's a question from Boney Cheese. If Marine supposedly has control over water, then could she mess with Kit's backpack?
In theory, her hydrokinesis is still a gigantic question mark. Like, is that something she did one time as a knee-jerk reaction? Is that something she's learning to do? We don't know because she only appeared in one game, and that was at the very end of it. But the idea does have merit.
Make it happen, Ian. Make them fight. I don't know why they would, but make them fight. What's Waterbender versus Waterbender? This one is from Sugar Capart. A few Discord friends and I were chatting, and we had this random idea of how chaotic Surgeon Kit cooking sweets would be. Who burns themselves with the frying pan? Who mixes sugar with salt? And who uses the apron and chef hat? Both of them.
No, Surge makes him wear the dorky stuff. She isn't going to do that because why would she get dirty? She doesn't know what she's doing.
Oh, okay.
And of course, she is like
everything. Okay.
Yeah. And she, of course, is the most messed up by the end of it because she has no idea what she's doing. She can't cook. Are you kidding? I mean, those sugar cookies are 90% salt. The other 10% might be what you would call dough. And Kit has to eat them because she said so.
This would be a tragedy if she were like a aspiring cook chef before she got turned into what she is now.
Except she was just as bad then, and this was the better life course for her.
Oh, no. Ian, don't be that way. This is not the Surge's life is not the better life course for anyone. Oh, man. She's been through enough. And yet not enough. She kind of brings it on herself, to be fair. Here's one from Hero Squad. We see Tails turning off Kit's water tank. After that, we see him faint. Is the water tank important to keep him alive, or did he just faint from exhaustion?
It's integrated into his systems. I don't think it was fatal. Well, obviously it wasn't because he got back up. But it was kind of a culmination of everything. Switching off the tank kind of sent a signal of you're offline now, and having failed Surge completely and utterly, he kind of shut down on his own. So the two coincided for him to just become a quite literal sad sack.
So is it cool? Is it cooling for his robot bits?
No, it's independent.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Because you said it was part of his systems. That's where I'm like, wait a minute. Is that what that means? Does that mean what I think it means or no? Okay. So it's separate.
Yeah, just the integration with the pack and its power supply is integrated with his cybernetics.
Right. Okay. Okay. And we got this one. We actually got two from Kitten Solder. In issue 1 of Imposter Syndrome, Starline considered recoding Surgeon Kit with a bit of a backstory so they'd understand why they wanted to kill Sonic, but he never went through with this. Why?
In my mind, it's because he was a terrible writer. That whatever he came up with was so unauthentic that they broke the illusion immediately.
And also because he's a jerk.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's putting it lightly, to be fair. This is Starline we're talking about. But still. And our last sponsored question is from Kitten Soldier again. So, you discussed what Starline would do if he found out he was in a licensed comic book. What would Surge do if she discovered she's legally not allowed to defeat Sonic?
Oh, she would rage.
No copyright law in the universe is going to stop her.
I mean, you already saw her reaction to learning that she had no control over her life and destiny within the context of the story. If she learned that was on a metaphysical level, that she never had any agency, that she is purely a construct of some twisted, sick man's machinations, she would fly off the handle. She would rage. She would find any way possible to break the fourth wall just to throttle me.
She is. This would truly be a duck a monk moment, except you would be dead at the end of it.
It really depends on who's writing the story, though.
I guess. Darn.
Because that'd be the ultimate tragedy, is that whatever she tries to do is up to the whims of the writer.
Yeah, okay. She can't write her own murder of you.
Eventually, the enormity of the existential crisis would strike, and she'd just kind of implode. But she would be fighting tooth and nail for a long while.
I'm being told this is why we need that candle that makes bears, possibly bears, cures all diseases, but has the potential to make bears in your living room. This is why we need that candle, because then you could use it to protect yourself from Surge.
Except she'd be lighting the candle every 5 minutes going, come on, Grizzly, get that son of a, come on, Grizzly.
Also, if you take into account that there's been there was criticism that Starline is your self-insert, this is frightening. But don't take that to heart.
Self-insert, what in the world?
People don't know what what that word means. Oh well. Major Bunny has some questions herself, so let's go ahead and get into those. Is anyone else allowed to call Kit Drippy, or is that only something Surge can call her support unit? And if anyone else tries to give him an insulting nickname, does she get offended and beat them up, or does she just laugh with them?
I think it would somewhat come down to circumstance, but largely, Kit is hers. You don't touch her thing. You do not insult her thing. You cast aspersions upon Kit, she's going to break your face.
Yes.
And he's like, wow, thanks for standing up for me. And she's like, shut up, Drippy.
Only she's allowed to make fun of him.
Exactly.
Yes. How do Surge and Kit feel about desserts? I assume Kit's probably stuck with whatever Surge doesn't want to eat herself, but does Surge have a sweet tooth for anything in particular?
I think she has like a general ravenous sweet tooth. Like anything that is sugary. The more sugary, the better, just because it's fun to consume. Like, she would have no discrepancy between a super cheapo grocery store cookie and a high-end restaurant eclair or what have you. As long as there's sugar, she'll eat it. Like, she'll grab a bag of sugar out of the cupboard and just pound it if she wants to. Kit, I think, is more restrained. Like, maybe he has one particular favorite flavor of ice cream, but Surge tells him what he likes and he kind of just goes with it.
Yeah. I imagine Surge is the only modern Sonic character that can go hyper.
With sufficient sugar intake, sure.
Yes. Dr. Starline takes Surge and Kit to Eggman Land. How does it go? Poorly.
There's a scenario of the parent living vicariously through their kids. Like, he takes them on all the rides and buys all the merchandise and goes to all the themed restaurants, and they are dragging their feet the entire time. They hate it here. They just want to go home. They don't even like Eggman Land. How dare you say such a thing in these hallowed grounds? We're going back on that log ride.
Nice.
We're going back on it again, and this time you're going to smile for the camera.
That's right. And we're obviously going to buy the overpriced picture because we are. Because we need to. We need it. And the last question from Major Bunny. Because I always have to bring it back to magical girls, would Surge and or Kit be a fan of magical girls? Either a certain type of magical girl or just the concept in general?
Knee-jerk reaction, I'm going to say Surge is not a fan. Because the power has to come from somewhere else. They have to transform and they have to conform to these uniforms or whatever look, their attire, to get the gimmick of their power. And that already strikes a little close to home, given that she had powers foisted upon her, but they're hers. She has them 24/7. She uses them as she sees fit. She doesn't need to do any incantation or canned animation to become powerful. She already is. Look at these frilly little whatevers dancing around with her wands and whatnot. Nah, she'd take them all on, with or without their transformations. She's better than all of them. Kit thinks they're pretty. He likes the sparkles. He's not going to admit it out loud.
Oh, no, of course not.
You know, it's kind of fun to imagine that just with a little razzle-dazzle, you turn into something more glamorous and fun and adventurous and powerful. And no, he's not watching this Surge. The TV just happened to come onto that channel. Click, 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 click.
Of course. Oh, no. Oh. I don't know. Maybe they might both like Steven Universe, though. Technically a magical girl show, but a little different.
No, Surge would be all about Amethyst.
I'm receiving a suggestion that she would like Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. But she would hate the musical bits, of course.
Oh, absolutely, with a burning passion.
Until they break her, and she would eventually start singing along.
Well, I mean, she's kind of humming Stronger Than You to herself, but she's not going to admit it. She doesn't know what that song is. What are you talking about?
No, never heard of that before in her life.
Meanwhile, Kit has every number memorized.
All right, that's all we got.
Yeah. Thank you to Major Bunny for not only sponsoring this episode, but for sponsoring a number of other folks through the standard Q&A. That's very generous of you. If you want a BumbleKast Mini of your own, or if you want to sponsor standard Qs yourself, head over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member.
Catch you in the next one.